What's going on, everybody? I have a super special episode on the pod today. I am your host, James, with Monocars Houston. Today, we have a guest some people may be familiar with in the diecast community, especially when it comes to racing them. He's got a YouTube channel with over 700,000 subscribers. He's been featured in various publications online. He has a passion for 64 scale racing, creates amazing racetrack set pieces, and has an absolute love for this hobby. Let's welcome Adriel Johnson with 3D Bot Maker.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Doing good.
Glad to have you on the podcast. You're probably number 3, I think.
Oh, cool. Well, third time's the charm, so this probably be your best one.
Oh, there we go. But yeah, you're on the West Coast?
Yeah, California. Right now it's cold out here, though.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's actually pouring rain over here.
Yeah, we had snow last week. I live in the mountain area, though, so.
Nice. Just to start off the podcast, again, welcome. As background info for the audience, there is some history between me and 3D Bot Maker that maybe you guys are familiar with as far as sponsoring the channel here and there. But
a lot of diorama sponsorship.
Yeah, dioramas, figures, and that's kind of like, part of your set pieces, right? So, but to start off the podcast, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got started into the diecast racing scene.
It was kind of a long journey how I got there, but pretty much I was working a government job. My son came along. I wanted to work from home, so I started off running a resale business on eBay. That failed. I got into 3D printing track accessories because I was playing with my son and we were playing with toy cars. He was really into cars when he was little. And so I started looking at online at other racetrack and kind of wanted to make some parts myself. So that's when I got into 3D printing. That's where the name 3D Bot Maker comes from, was my track accessory line that I was selling. And then in an effort to promote those products, I started making YouTube videos to show off the track parts that I was making. And after a while, the videos kind of got more elaborate and that became my main business, and the 3D printing business kind of faded away.
So the name 3D Bot Maker, it kind of reminds me of 3D printing because there's a brand called MakerBot, right? Is that kind of like a spinoff?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a name I wanted something generic just in case I wanted to make other items beside racetrack stuff. So I was like, I looked at my printer, it said Bot Maker 3D printer. And I was like, oh, if I reverse that, it's 3D Bot Maker. And the website was available. And to me, if the website's available, I'm good.
For sure.
Yeah,
Definitely. The URL, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to the 3D printing, you still do that stuff, or have you given up completely? Because I feel like 3D printing has come a long way where people are building like custom sets. You can, probably print figures and paint them and things like that. Maybe do a lot of custom work on your set.
Yeah, I only do 3D printing for stuff for myself. I don't sell it anymore, but I have several 3D printers still that I use to make. I do make some figures for the track and other things.
Yeah, 3D printing definitely has given a huge advantage to, I guess, Hot Wheels customizers. I feel like they use 3D printing a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense to use it for the track set.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've always been were you a Hot Wheels collector?
No, most people assume that I was like really into Hot Wheels when I was little. Yeah. I can only remember maybe having one or like a couple Hot Wheels, and I don't think I got them new either. I think I like found one somewhere and that's how I got it. So I didn't have Hot Wheels when I was a kid, really. I had I did play with Micro Machines though. Micro Machines was my thing when I was younger.
What do you think about the comeback Micro Machine stuff? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did a partnership video with them. So
did you?
I think it's cool that they're coming back.
I got you. I hear you.
And I'm hoping that they are bringing some licensed models. When I first did the video with them, they didn't have any licensed models, so now they're doing some licensed models. I still do favor though the older ones had just a little more detail. So
no, for sure,
it's good to see them back, and I'm hoping they kind of get some more detail, more licensed models.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, because when they first came out, it just looked like a bunch of like fantasy cars. Like they just kind of resembled cars and trucks and things. I mean, which was cool because I would think that was kind of like their kickoff, but I didn't realize they were actually getting into licensed products again. That's cool.
Yeah, they have several licensed ones that I've seen at the store.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, yeah, just generally, I would have thought you were a Hot Wheels collector. I guess maybe your son has more Hot Wheels than you.
Oh, not anymore. He did. He's kind of probably not. He's kind of out of Hot Wheels now, and I'm into it now.
That's interesting how that worked out.
Yeah.
When are you a hobbyist of anything when it comes to like the diecast stuff? Like, do you collect any?
Yeah, at this point, I do collect Hot Wheels, and I try to focus my collecting around the channel though. So I try to limit myself. Otherwise, I could just go out there and get lost in the world of diecast, and there's so many options to choose from. So I try to think about what I'm going to be using possibly on the channel. Will this ever get some screen time? And I try to limit myself to that. But occasionally there's cars where I have to buy them anyways. But yeah, my collection has grown quite a bit.
Oh, for sure. So gearing off into YouTube, personally, me starting out, I feel like I've picked your brain a little bit when I first started my other YouTube channel, the main channel that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of spawned it into this podcast because I wanted to talk a little bit more deeper into the things, interview some people, talk about some things that people don't know about that happen in the background. So one of the topics was YouTube channel, and I've thought about creating like a small series of like if people wanted to create YouTube channels for diecast stuff or racing stuff or whatever it might be. I wanted to create some a series for that. Not like, hey, I'm going to sell you YouTube, how to build YouTube classes or things like that, but more just related to the hobby because I think it's great for people to be able to share their passions, have fun with it and things like that. And that's what I see when you're doing it all the time. When the YouTube channel started, I know you gave us a quick background. What was your big like takeoff point, you know, because obviously you were just starting out, you were doing some 3D printing stuff on the YouTube channel, and then what was like the pivot, and then like boom, it just like started taking off and you're like, all right, this is the thing that I need to focus on?
Yeah, for my first few videos were very like product focused, so like they were just kind of short videos really showing off the things I was making. Then I actually made a couple videos with my kids. They weren't in the video, but we were just playing with the cars and racing them on a track. I kind of made a couple of those, and then I think the third video I made of that series with them, I add some commentary on top. And I just liked how that kind of came together. The commentary and the voice really pulled it all together. So then I was like, okay, I kind of like this style. So then I started what I call the 3D Bot Maker Diecast Racing League, and kind of got the people watching involved and being kind of like drivers, using their names as the drivers of the cars. And that's kind of when I started really figuring out like the formula that I really just enjoyed making, kind of turning. It kind of first started off with just cars, like kind of just diecast cars on a regular track, and then I started transitioning into creating this world around the cars and kind of simulating this kind of real life racing type of atmosphere and scene. So that's kind of when I started figuring out kind of that formula. It didn't really though, like I wouldn't say I forget the phrase you used, but like kind of took off, or I was like okay,
take it off.
That was when late 2019 is when I decided to make that's when I changed just from like kind of a plain track into going for something that was like more realistic. So I did model train level scenery for a rally track.
Did you have experience building that stuff before?
No,
like building tracks like that? Okay.
No, I just looked on, I spent hours and hours watching videos of other people make it, and there's a lot of good hobby guys out there
from YouTube to create a YouTube channel. That makes sense.
Oh no, YouTube is a good educational platform.
Oh no, definitely
for hobby stuff,
and for entertainment.
So it's when I started making like that really detailed scenery with the first rally track, and then once I built that first rally track, I looked at my old track and said, well, I can't use that anymore. That looked pretty bad compared to what I just built. So then I redid my main track, and that was like the end of 2019, beginning of 2020 is when I made that transition to go from kind of a more playset style looking track to like, okay, this is like
those orange Hot Wheels tracks. You mean like those orange ones?
I use those for the first couple videos. I was using the wider track though, which is not really meant for diecast cars, made for cars that actually have motors in them. But that gives a more fun kind of racing scene. So the realism is what I think is that when I really think it started like really clicking and taking off.
Do you do your own voiceovers?
Yeah,
like all the commentating that happens, because it sounds like there's two different people sometimes.
That's that's 2D. He's very much real for those asking.
There was a comment when I was yesterday. I was posting up, hey, I'm gonna be interviewing Adriel, and people are like, is 2D gonna be on there? I'm not that, I didn't start from whenever you started, but there seems to be some history about who 2D is. Like, what's 2D the concept?
2D started around the really was around the time when we were doing modified racing cars, where people send in cars that are modified. And I was thinking, well, we can't have I was trying to give it this kind of underground racing feel to it. So I thought, well, I can't have like the same kind of professional announcer doing the voiceover for that. And that's when the 2D character came in to give kind of a more darker, deeper feel to the racing. And then eventually they both kind of combined, and now there's the two commentary voiceover that happens.
I feel like for some of your participants, I guess you would say, the people that send their cars in, there's moments where it creates a lot of history and people are reminded of racers because something out of the ordinary happened and they remember their name. Does that happen in your track series racing videos? Like, is there somebody that people are always like rooting for? You know what I mean? Like someone that stands out or something happened and it's just some iconic moment that people remember.
Well, we have anyone who watches the channel for some time knows the fateful accident of McClyde, sadly passed back in 2020.
Oh no.
That's where it was just a car went off the track, but we made a whole story around.
No, sure. That's what's so
around
fun
the
about
death
it.
of the driver. That was actually really fun because it happened that like in the last race, the car flipped off the middle section of the track all the way down to like the bottom area. area. In real life, it's just a car coming off the track. Happens all the time.
Sure.
But I thought, well, let's kind of make a suspenseful ending to this since the
Yes.
car had this big wreck. And then for the next video, I thought, it'd be interesting if I could like the goal was to try to make people kind of feel like trying to get their feels over
Yeah, for sure.
non-existent driver that died. So I kind of cued in the rain and this like kind of sad song and this kind of mellow tone of the commentator.
That's it.
And we had all these black cars lined up on the track and a hearse and just kind of did this little memorial funeral thing. And that was
and it's all like 64 scale.
Yeah, all 64 scale.
Jesus.
It was a fun challenge to to kind of put that some feeling and emotion to it. Like I kind of like playing on that with the channel as far as kind of causing people to suspend kind of reality in a sense. And people get excited people get excited and cheer for a car, and it's in reality it's just a little car on a plastic track, but people get into it. And I thought, well, what if I could do that on a deeper level where it's actually playing with your emotions a little bit. And even me making it and watching it, I was kind of like, oh wow, I kind of feel a little bit about this car, and I'm the one behind the whole thing.
Man, when you start feeling like that, you gotta be loving what you're doing. I feel like it's like super fun. Not the long form version, but run me through like a typical day of like setup. So yeah, I mean, you've already got the track built. Let's say you've got your racing series set up. What else is involved? Obviously the cameras, the scripting, like what's the typical day of shooting a video, like the quick version, I guess?
Yeah, usually it's a couple days. First I'll start off by staging the track by setting up all the little figures, and maybe there'll be some kind of little story or scene going on in the background. I like putting little details in there, so when people are watching, they might just notice a little something going on in the background and keep the interest with that. So that's the first area of staging. For racing, if I have a schedule of what cars are supposed to race, I just get them out there, put them on the track. They typically race 4 times, and I usually have about 5 cameras set up, so 4 track cameras. And then
you got them mounted on the ceiling, like on the ceiling.
No, they're mounted on the track at different.
Just on the track, just different locations on the track.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
So I use a series of usually GoPros, but I also have other cameras for doing like close-up shots. After that, it's editing. So the cars really tell the story. I don't have like a script for what the cars can do. They're just gravity happens, and then. Usually I don't even find out what happened in the race until I go back to edit it and put it all together, and then I'll notice something interesting happens. After I do all the edits and put it together, then there's the sound design part, which can take quite a while because I usually model out. Typically I'll go through and watch each individual car and kind of have sounds representing all the cars on a lot of the videos. And then I go through and do the kind of what I call the car Foley sound effects, which is tire screeches and impacts and hits. Then it's voiceover, where I just go back over the video again and record on top of what I've already put out, my voiceover, add the music in, and then it's ready to publish. So it's usually about 2 days to put together a video. The editing process can take quite a bit. Yeah. How
many videos have you uploaded? I'm curious.
I don't know. It says on the YouTube page somewhere.
Does it tell you anymore? I don't know if it tells you. I was interested to see like what your first videos look like, but you can't sort it by like oldest to newest anymore, with all the recent updates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be at least 600 plus.
Yeah, it's definitely like over 500, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Going back to what I was explaining earlier about, I wanted to create like a little series for people to, if they want to start a channel, here's some steps and tips and tricks to do it. One of the things is obviously the consistency of it, the storytelling, things like that. And then from there, it's kind of like the magic starts spawning, and things start clicking, and you see what people are interested in, what they're not interested in, things like that, and it just starts to grow from there. I feel like I think it's just the consistency, the persistence is kind of involved, because like how do you like mentally, what's the drive to keep making the videos? I guess, is it the viewership, is it the storytelling, is what part is the one that just like keeps you going?
I love, or the people. Yeah, for me, I love making videos.
In general, just making videos.
I love making this whole like world. Yeah, I've been making videos since like I was in high school, just for fun. Okay. Yeah, so I enjoy the process of kind of taking something and putting it all together and adding the sound and all that. So for one, I enjoy the making videos. I don't dread editing really. I enjoy the whole process. And if it becomes kind of like, not that it never becomes kind of something where it's like I get tired of certain things. If I get like kind of bored of something, I just need to switch it up and try maybe a different series or doing something else or working on some other project. But in general, I do enjoy the whole video making process. I'm just one
doing all that. Yeah. Have you thought about creating a team? Like, is there like like when you get to 1 million subscribers, like, is that the part where it's like, all right, maybe I need to get some help?
I really could use it, like other people's help probably for other things outside of the video part of it, like taking care of, the other business aspects of working with
I gotcha.
sponsors and stuff like that, because
Oh, sure, because that's all
I don't
funneled
really
through
I don't
you.
really enjoy that part of it, even though it's
You
good
just
for
like
the
making
business.
you like making the videos. Like that's your
Yeah, I don't really enjoy
bread
having
and
to like
butter.
deal with, yeah, it would be maybe eventually I'll get someone to handle that or handle social media, because I'm terrible at handling my social media and actually keeping up with all that stuff.
What other are you only posting on YouTube or Oh, you also have a Facebook group. That's right, with a ton of people. I'm
Yeah,
guessing a lot of those guys are fans of your YouTube channel, maybe mostly likely.
yeah, I started that because YouTube was there was the whole concern about comments being on the channel and diecast racing kind of being in a somewhat gray area with the whole kid made for kids content and whatnot, which I've never intended my content really to be aimed towards kids. I always intended it for older, like kind of I make it for older people. I make references that you would only get if you're
An adult.
in probably your 30s or 40s probably. So it's kind of more for an adult type audience. I don't make it like kiddie, like we got kid music and my voice is like, hey,
not like it's not like Ryan's
Yeah.
toy review version of
Yeah.
diecast racing or something.
Yeah, I also stay away
see what
from
you're saying.
racing. Yeah, I stay away from racing like, kind of character cars. I don't race the Mario Kart. I only did one Mario Kart video in the past, but I don't do those anymore or anything
Yeah, and I
with
think that
cartoon type of
was
stuff.
like surprisingly, I think that was like one of your biggest watched video too, the Mario Kart one.
That's the one that actually like really that's the one that kicked off the real like growth of the video of the channel was the Mario Kart one.
Oh, I see. Like when you're at this number of subscribers, do you feel like you're kind of stuck here? Like does it? I feel would it take a long time to get to 1 million? Like do you feel like is there slow progress or is it just grinding it? Just keep grinding it.
Yeah, right now it's kind of it like pretty much I started really accelerating the growth in 2019 after that the Mario Kart video started getting traction.
That's when,
a couple other videos started also getting traction. I started getting my first 1 million view videos. So it was really like going up really fast, ending 2019. Then 2020 hit, and then that's when sports venues were being shut down and all that type of stuff, and people were spending time at home looking at YouTube.
Another
so then
good
that's
time,
actually that kind of just further snowballed what was already moving. So I really went. I think I hit my first 100,000 before the pandemic, and then by the end of 2020, I was closing in around maybe 500,000 subscribers by that point.
Yeah.
At this point, it's kind of slowed down after the pandemic ended and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's still constant growth. I'm not really the numbers and the subscribers isn't something that I really focus that much on. Really.
Absolutely.
And for me, more I enjoy, like I said, I enjoy making the content, and I really enjoy creating these little worlds. In a sense, do it for me more than I think. It's kind of like I'm making this stuff because I enjoy it and other people enjoy it as well.
Ironically, it aligns with the viewership.
Yeah, so that's
them liking it too. So it's just the perfect match. Even though you like it, there's people out there that love it just the same. So it actually works itself out. Subscribers are definitely just like little milestones, I feel like too. Like it's just something to get you unlock this or get your little play button thing. But ultimately, it's the viewership and the community that really make your channel at the end of the day, for sure.
Yeah, it's not that I don't appreciate subscribers or
definitely.
Numbers,
those are like your super fans.
Yeah, it's more like the subscribers and the success in that sense. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's kind of like I'm doing something I enjoy, and then the subscribers in that area just kind of like helps. It's kind of like a reward on top of what I'm already doing, type of thing.
I got you. Yeah, for sure.
It's like, okay, cool. People also enjoy this. That's great. That feels great that other people enjoy it too. But I think enjoying what you're doing yourself first, and kind of really enjoying, if you're going to make content, you should enjoy making the content that you're making. So that'd be kind of my advice for someone who's trying to get into YouTube, is really enjoy the whole process of it. If you don't like making videos or like editing or like whatever you're doing, if you're just trying to see what's trending and what's popular and just trying to do those things, but you're not passionate about it, it's going to get the old praise tune and you're going to burn out. For me, I think I don't really burn out because I'm doing something I thoroughly enjoy what I do. So to pivot off of that, is there something in the pipeline for you that you've thought about, that how would you evolve the channel? Like, is there something outside of racing that you've been thinking about doing, or is it always just going to be about the racing? Yeah, I can't really think far outside of the racing. I really enjoy what I like about the racing is I enjoy the physics aspect of it. We're just putting cars at a start and letting them freely go down this track. I can't control it, so it's like I don't have to come up with a storyline. So I actually enjoy that process. Yeah, if I had to actually script a whole story, that could be a lot
And
of
then
stress. And what if it doesn't live up to the previous story I wrote? But with this, the cars just tell their own story with gravity.
it's the other way around. You let the car do their thing, and then you tell your story. The excitement, you can always feel it. And I think a lot of it also spans from the fact that you're excited about it ultimately at the end of the day. I want to talk about the people that submit their cars. 99.9% probably all Hot Wheels, right?
Most are gonna be Hot Wheels, some Matchbox. We've had some,
Yeah.
a couple Tomica
Oh,
brand
really?
cars, but not many of those. But mostly Hot Wheels, because Hot Wheels are known for their fast wheels.
Is that so? What's the science behind it? Are any of the guys customizing the Hot Wheels to make it go faster or do something? Or is it strictly just like out the box, I'll just put some custom decals on it and send it your way type of deal?
Yeah, when it comes to the modified races that we do, or the ones that people mail in, those are all modified for speed. So they take them apart. They'll switch out the wheels.
Oh.
Because polish the axles to get them smoother.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Add lubricant to the axles and the wheels. Some of them will sand the wheels to make sure there's no little, because when they come out of the mold, there's like a little kind of round spot on the
Sure.
wheel that might throw off the smoothness of it. So they'll sand that off, add weight to it. There's concern for the placement of the weight. Should it be more in the front, rear, or centered? So all that type of stuff goes into the diecast racing aspect of it.
Oh,
And there's a whole
yeah.
community that focuses just on modifying, not for looks, but for actual speed.
So where else do they test that concept? Do they use those tracks to see how fast they go before they send it in? I wonder, like, is there like some R&D that they do, you know?
Yeah, a lot of guys will set up their own tracks and they'll race.
Those orange tracks or something, just set up with like a huge ramp, slide it down, and
just
see
like
how fast it
a
goes.
good like drag race track, and they'll compare that to other cars. So there's a site called Redline Derby that focuses on downhill racing cars, and also people go on there and they'll post their own tournaments that they do where you'll send in your car and race against other people's cars. So there's a whole community surrounding sending cars in. So it's not just my channel that sends the cars into. There's other places where people can send cars in, race them against others, and some people get really into it. And there's kind of like top names who everyone knows, like, oh, they build fast cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you got to watch out for those cars. Oh man, they're entering.
If that guy sends a car in, okay.
Everyone's like, all right, we gotta get our game faces on. We gotta figure this out. How do they? I guess, is there a sign up sheet or something where how people submit their cars? Do they get picked randomly? Is it like, how does that part work?
For my channel, I just made an announcement in my Facebook group and on my YouTube channel members page, and had a website where people can get the information on the rules for how I set up rules for how they have to spec their car out. So they have to be within a certain weight range, certain size, certain rules and limitations. And then they send them in, and as long as their car can make it down the track, then they can be in a race.
When you have these tournament sessions, the winner of the tournament, do they get a prize? Like, what happens when they win? Like at the end of a tournament,
they get the respect and glory of winning the tournament.
I didn't know if you set up like a little 64 scale trophy or like.
No, I should. I might. Do
like
that in the
something
future.
just fun.
Yeah, in the past I did do a tournament in the past where I had a prize, and then it just kind of became a hassle. The person was like international, and I had to kind of work a whole thing around to get them the prize. So after that, I kind of stopped doing the prizes just to make it a little simpler and easy. But in the future, I might do a little trophy or something like that.
Yeah, or like a little 64 scale plaque. That's like this tiny.
Yeah.
You can't even read anything out, but it's cool because you've got a little certificate or something.
Actually, I did do a trophy. I think I did send a trophy on the first. That's right. The first two King of the Mountain tournaments I did, there were prizes actually. Yeah, I forgot there were prizes in the beginning. I think I stopped somewhere after that, but someone did get a little small trophy.
Maybe that could be a job for somebody in the future when you have a little bit more support to send out trophies and winnings and things. Okay, let's talk about your dioramas. Obviously, that's an area that I've helped you with a little bit here and there. It's a pain in the butt setting all that up, right? Like,
oh, the dioramas,
all the figures. You know what I mean? Like all the figures and tack and everything you have to do.
Oh yeah, that usually takes about. I usually spend maybe like 2 hours before recording a video, kind of just setting up all the people, because I like to keep it switched up. I usually do put I put little clear plastic kind of discs on the bottom of their feet instead of using the tack, because usually makes it easier. I can just stand them up in place. It doesn't look as good if you get close up, but it makes it a lot easier doing that type of method.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, a
Any
lot of
other
time does go
tricks?
into staging them. Yeah, most of my tracks are once they're set up. I mean, as far as the other parts like the little maybe tire stacks and all that stuff usually
Oh,
just stays in place throughout the entire recording process. So most of the
sure.
time I'm just moving around people and also staging different cars in the background and stuff like that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, some of the I love how the B-roll sometimes is for that stuff when like in between shots you're showing off the figures and the buildings. And where'd you get those little 10 by 10 tents from?
Yeah, my friend Dave made those. Dave
Oh, somebody
Akers
makes them?
Customs. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he made
Okay,
a bunch
perfect.
of those canopy tents for me with little
Yeah,
metal
and they can be
poles actually in 'em and stuff.
those are metal. Oh, wow. And you can custom print. I guess he custom prints whatever on there, like whatever design.
Yeah, Dave has made those. He's made buildings for me. He does diorama work.
Cool, cool, cool.
Makes little picnic tables and all types of stuff out of wood.
Yeah, the diorama set pieces look great. So, how many iterations have you done of these racetracks now? Because I know you've got you did one
Yeah,
recently.
I think almost every year I've had at
So
least
every year.
one new track. I'm trying to think. Okay, the first in 2018 there was one track. 2019 there was another two tracks maybe that happened in 2019. Then I came with the rally track. Then there was another what I call a race mountain track. Then there was another rally track, another rally track, and
Yeah.
then I moved this past year. So then everything that I built in the past all went away. And I've had to start over pretty much from scratch with tracks. So now I have one new track already built that I filmed on, and then I'm in the current process of building another very elaborate track. It's kind of like a city-based, a city-themed track. So there's lots of dioramas in this one.
It's gonna be like a racetrack style also, but it's just city theme.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm kind of trying to go for more street racing feel. So I'm having the cars actually race through a city. So that means
Ooh.
there's like lots of buildings that on this one, and I'm custom building a lot of them myself.
I think some of the dioramas that I've sent you may work nicely on something like that too.
Yeah, several of the ones you sent are going
For
to
for the city feel, yeah.
pretty much almost every diorama you sent in the past is in this one.
How do you like those dioramas? Do you like the ones that I carry, or
Yeah, I
are
like
they
them.
nice?
Yeah, the details are real nice on them.
They got lights in them too, right?
Some of the companies could use a little quality control issues. I had to fix a few of them, but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, for
fixable.
sure.
But they all light up, so that's nice
yeah,
about them. And
yeah.
the details are nice. They give you little accessories.
Yeah, like little barrels and stuff. Yep. Trees.
Yeah, and the
grass.
last few I got from you were really detailed. They came with like they were stores, so they came with like the stuff that goes inside the store.
Oh, really?
And then you gotta like kind of glue on like the labels for the different products and stuff like that. But they came with lots of accessories.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the Lawsons, you sent me a Lawsons one, and
that one's a gotta have. Yeah, the little
couple-
store. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you do any JDM themed stuff?
yeah. I've done a JDM. I think at least one JDM tournament. Then I did JDM. No, it wasn't just. Yeah, I did one video series with Japanese nostalgic cars. .com.
Oh, like old school stuff. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So they sent in several cars, and I raced those on the channel before.
So what do you think about, like, I know you're saturated with Hot Wheels, and some of my fans know my stance on Hot Wheels. Not that I don't like them, but kind of like something that I've moved on from. And ever since I found like this higher end stuff, do you own any higher end collectible pieces, like some of the Inno or Tarmac and stuff like this? And what do you think about that stuff versus this stuff?
Yeah, I have ones that you sent me, and I think the details are incredible on them. For me, the wheels don't roll, so that's kind of a negative for me.
That's a deal breaker right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, because even with like the Hot Wheel, the premium ones, if you get like ones from the Red Line Club, they have rubber tires, but they're easy to swap out if I ever did want to actually have them roll down the track. But I do buy more collector grade or higher detail cars, even if they can't roll, for kind of the background scenery type. So I like having cool cars set up in the background. If let's say I'm racing maybe a Lamborghini tournament, something like that.
Sure.
I like to have kind of more fancier models of the car kind of parked on the side so that you get the kind of view of those in the B-roll type of stuff. So that's kind of my purpose for the higher end ones, is they make nice B-roll type of shots.
Yeah, because I think that's kind of like what that market is for people that just like high detail, static display. You just kind of show it off. You don't roll them or anything, but yeah, when it comes to pictures, video, it's like, whoa, what the heck? Look at all that detail on the thing.
Yeah, the detail's wild. I mean, you look inside the window, and like one of them had like a clear back on it where you could see the engine, but the engine was detailed underneath the glass. I was like, wow.
Oh, dude, I know.
Seatbelts are painted and everything.
Dude, it's like such a fun time to be like into this hobby in general, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. It's grown so much, I would say, just in the last like 3 years or 4 years or so.
And I think some of the or the higher detailed stuff, I should say, they're starting to turn more into actually rolling wheels. Like some of the stuff is rolling now, and opening compartments like doors, hood. You can see some engine details.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that.
I love the opening compartments. Yeah, I'm a sucker
opening
for compartments. If the
So
compartment
rolling
opens, I'm sold. Yeah.
Has anybody ever sent in like a TLVN Tomica, the Tomica limited vintage Neo stuff. Has anybody sent ever one of those in for racing? Because those wheels spin so good.
Not for racing, I don't think. No, I think you sent me
Okay.
one. Oh yeah, someone sent in some Tomica to race and it didn't qualify. It couldn't make it down the track.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, it was a great looking car they sent in, but it
Yeah,
couldn't roll fast enough.
When it comes to the tires, is there any difference between rubber and plastic? Like, is one of the
Yeah,
rules
oh
like
yeah,
it's got to be
definitely.
plastic?
It's got to be plastic, yeah.
Oh, it's got.
If it's rubber, they because friction is good if your car has an
Sure.
actual engine in it and you're trying to actually have grip on the track to propel the vehicle forward. In this case, the cars are not powered, so
Correct.
it's just needs to be able to roll freely. Plus, enable to make those turns nice. Sometimes the car needs to actually slide a little bit to make the turn properly because
you're
it can't
drifting
turn.
around.
There's no steering system in the car.
Correct.
So usually rubber cars just can't make it down the end of these tracks. A good balanced car won't just be sliding around all over the place, and the track actually has grooves in it, so it keeps the
That's right. Yeah.
the wheels kind of in line. But the rubber just adds too much friction and slows it down too much.
So what about your own? What do you own? You're into cars, obviously. Do you have anything fancy in your garage?
Oh, real cars?
Yeah, real cars. Yeah.
No, I just have a Chevy pickup truck from '06.
But you've got a ton of awesome scale cars.
Yeah,
so that makes up for anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a family guy now. I got a truck is functional. I can move stuff around. I can haul things. I build big track setups. So I need something I could actually put big pieces of wood in there and bring it to the shop and cut wood and stuff like that. So a truck really makes the most sense at this point.
You need just something practical.
But I did have my dream car at the time. I owned it in the past was a Pontiac Solstice GXP
cool.
model with the turbo in it.
Yeah,
So that was kind of when I was younger. I purchased a fun kind of little sports car that I had for a couple of years. Then kids came along and then that went away.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of collaboration, has there been any events that you've attended or been to, or like when you've set something up, or has it solely just been YouTube channel stuff and the things that you've been doing there locally? Maybe like, is there any events that you've gone to?
I've gone. I haven't done any events where I actually do any racing at them. I've done a small little local. I've been to like a little local diecast meetup before, but I've never done anything where I actually race the cars. And really seeing me race the cars in person wouldn't be as exciting as the videos are. Really, all the post production that goes into making the video and bringing out the excitement. When you see it in real life, the cars are going twice the speed that you're seeing on the video, so it's kind of just really fast down the track.
Yeah, and I'm guessing there's a lot of camera magic that comes into play, maybe like that movie magic effect.
Just having those, those low angles where you're like really close down to the car, that kind of brings it to life and makes it feel more real if you get the cameras nice and close down at the corners instead of just like this big top overview that you normally would have if you're looking at the track. The cameras kind of pull you into that world.
It's super awesome, man. I really admire what you do. I think you're a great asset for the community, especially when it comes to steering and veering into like hobbies and things like that. I think people need something outside of their work and their daily life grind, and I think this is a perfect way for people to escape and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I like the idea that you don't have to like grow up and you can't play anymore. So you can grow up and be an adult, but you can still kind of have that kind of kid-like mindset where you can still. It's okay to play with toys and kind of have fun and have an imagination. Life doesn't have to be just boring and dull and just do what we call adult stuff. You can have fun and be a kid. And I think that's what a lot of people. I get a lot of comments on the channel, people saying, "Oh, this made me feel like a kid again." Or, you made my childhood what I used to think of when I was a kid. You brought it to life, and I like that I could bring people back to those kind of nostalgic feelings and also kind of make them feel young again.
I think there's a mental health aspect to diecast and collectibles in general, right? I think like you have a sense of purpose and you're doing something that you like and keeps your brain busy. I think overall it's good as long as you don't overdo it like everything else in life, right? You've got a nice balance with everything else, but it's just one of those little side things that everybody kind of needs to keep their sanity.
Yeah, you can definitely fall far down the rabbit hole of diecast collecting.
With anything.
There's so much you can that's available to purchase and stuff like that. But I think it's fun, especially for me. I don't have a bunch of fancy cars that I can actually afford to purchase, so to have them in a little small scale form still makes you feel like, you know, hey, I got this cool car still.
Oh yeah, definitely not about that anyways. The reason why I was bringing up collaborations and events is I did like a mini event last year where I, was trying to invite people out to kind of create like a diecast show, because I feel like here in the States, we don't have I know we've got Hot Wheel meet, things like that, right? At every city level, there's something like that. But I'm talking about like an actual show where you can invite maybe Hot Wheels to come and Matchbox to come, and like their reps and showing off their new stuff. Like, I don't think something like that exists here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been trying to think about ways to create that type of event here, especially with the guys overseas, because it's a big hobby over there too. Bring some of those guys along, showcase 3D bot maker. I'm not saying bring your track, but just as a supporter or whatever, just things like that. That's the point I was trying to make with that. I don't think something like that exists.
Yeah, I don't know of anything that outside of like the Hot Wheels convention stuff like that, which is just specifically branded for Hot Wheels. I don't know of any like big kind of diecast shows. Yeah, I know that there's plenty of small ones that I see pop up on the internet, stuff like that, but not like a kind of a big meetup type thing. That'd be really cool.
I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, that's just something that I've been thinking about. Actually, been maybe try to brainstorm this year, and maybe I can bring you on board to. We'll think.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Where can they find you? What are you gonna be doing this year? Your website? What's all that stuff?
Yeah, 3dbotmaker.com or YouTube 3dbotmaker, or that's pretty much the two places I'm at. There's a Facebook group also search 3dbotmaker on Facebook. You'll probably find the group there. That's one where we it's focused on diecast cars and racing, kind of both type of things, so we can just keep it diecast related, no sales and stuff like that. So I kind of try to keep a nice little area for people who are into modifying cars or racing cars or just showing off their car collection, stuff like that.
Oh, just more of a community of like-minded people type of setting.
Yeah, just trying to keep more community than every group seems to kind of get overrun sometimes from spamming and stuff like that.
And then the latest rant is everybody hates the everyone tag.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
I haven't even seen all of those things.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Adriel, it was awesome having you on the podcast, man. Thank you for being here. We definitely need to do this in the future, maybe sometime in the future. But close us out if you can.
Everyone, thanks for joining us on the Model Cars Houston podcast. Until next time, I'm 3D Botmaker.
And I'm James.
And we'll see you on the track.